Students, today we learn the lesson from standard 9 bioscience portion unit 18 organization of tissues. What is our lesson? Organization of tissues. Before we enter the lesson, we discuss something about this lesson that comes under the introduction of this lesson. Is it? Yes. Before that, I will be asked the one question to you. Do you have any idea about that? Is it? How the organisms are made? Any idea about that? Yeah, that you already studied in your previous classes, I think so. Cell, is it? So, what is meant by cell? The cell is the structural and functional unit of an organism. Is it? What is meant by cell? Structural and functional unit of an organism. So, without cell, the organism cannot be produced. Is it? Yeah. Next, we will learn that how the organism made. Okay. It is the cell is the basic unit. The cells combine to form a tissues. Tissues combine to form a organ. The organs combine to form a organ system. The organ system combine to form the whole organism. I think now you got the answer from the question, is it? Yeah. So, just imagine without the cell, how the organism is made. It is impossible, is it? No. Yeah. So, it is called as the basic unit of an organism. The next, we will see the types of cell. Number of classification is there. Now, we will see only on the basis of number, we classify into two types only. Okay, guys. In our 9th standard, the classification based on the number. So, number means it is unicellular, multicellular. Split the word uni, single. So, single cell. Multi means many. So, many cells. Okay, ma? So, single cellular example is bacteria and protozoans. Multicellular example is animals and plants. Human also, I think so. Is it that? Yeah. That is types of cell. How many types of cell? Unicellular, multicellular, based on what? Number. Okay, guys. Next, that is organ. What is meant by organ? Say any one of the organ like that. What is that? In a plant means we say that root, leaf and the stem is it called as an organ. Is it that? So, this organ is a structure. It is contain a specific structure made up of how they made the combination of the tissues. These tissues carry the specialized function. The tissues carry the specialized function. For examples, what is that? Plant organ. Already we listed, I think so, is it? So, plant organ, root, stem, leaf. These called as a organ. These organ contain the tissues, xylem and phloem. Already you studied, I think so. At any way, xylem conduct the water. Phloem conducts the food materials in the plant. Is it that? Okay. So, these three are organ. Xylem and phloem comes under the tissues. Okay, guys. Next, we will go to the animals. Next example, what is that? Animals. For animals, we see that stomach. In the stomach comprises the epithelial cell, gland cell, muscle cell. Is it that? Do you know intestine have a number of secretory glands? Is it? So, these three comprise to form a stomach. Stomach is a organ. These three cells and form a tissues. Okay, guys. So, tissues is the fundamental base of formation of organ. Okay, guys. Now, in this lesson, we will see the plant tissues and animal tissues. That first one is what? Plant tissue. Is it that? The tissue present in the plant. First we will see detail about the plant tissue. The plant tissue have a vegetative tissue and reproductive tissue, that is entirely different, okay. But in our book we only see the major common two type of plant tissue system. What are all they? The first one is meristems. What is that? Meristem. And meristematic tissue. We call meristems or meristematic tissues. Okay. Second category is what? Permanent tissues. So, two types, meristem and permanent tissues. The meristem is otherwise called as meristematic tissues. Okay, students. Then, first one what? Meristematic tissue. The meristem, that word derived from the Greek language. What? The meristem word derived from the Greek language. What is the meaning of the meristers? That is a synonym, is it that? Meristers mean divisible, that or rapidly dividing cells. What is meant by rapidly? Fast, so fast, is it that? So, meristers mean divisible or rapidly dividing cells. Okay guys, in plant meristem found in zone, that is in plant meristem are found in number of zones. It is present in the apex. What is meant by apex? Tip. What is meant by apex? Tip. So, meristem present in the plant apex of stem, root, leaf primordia, vascula and core cambium. The vascular and core cambium is nothing but it is the responsible for the secondary growth of the plant. Okay guys. The next one is characteristic feature of meristem. That characteristic feature of meristem. What is the characters of meristem? It is a living cell. It is a living cell. What is the shape of the meristem? It is small, oval or polygonal or round in shape. How they are formed? It is a thin walled cell. It have a dense cytoplasm and large nuclei and small vacuoles. Do you know about the cytoplasm? The cell contain the cytoplasm and the cell organelles are present in the cytoplasm. I think you studied in your previous class. I think so, is it? What is meant by cytoplasm? It is a colloidal substance. The cytoplasm contains cell organelles. And what are all the cell organelles? Mitochondria, chloroplast, plastic, like that. Is it that? Again, it contains also nucleus. The cell contains nucleus. Do you know? Yes. The meristem also contains the large nucleus and it is small vacuoles. Spherical body contain, what is it? Called as a small vacuoles. Okay. So, meristem contain, it is thin wall, dense cytoplasm, large nuclei and small vacuoles. Then next point is, the meristem undergo the mitotic cell division. The mitotic is one type of cell division. How they are cell divide? The one cell divide into two, the two cell divide into four, the 4 into 8, like that cell divide and divide again and again. So that type of cell division is called as a mitotic cell division. So the meristem have a character of mitotic cell division. Okay guys, then the mitotic cell do not store food materials. Why? Because the meristem is rapidly dividing cell, no. Then how they are store food? So, meristem do not store food material in that. Okay. So, these points comes under the characteristic feature of meristem. Once again I repeat, it is a living cell. It is a small, oval, polygonal, round in shape. It is a thin walled cell. It has dense cytoplasm, large nuclei, small vacuoles. In that, it is undergo the mitotic cell division, and meristem do not store food materials. Okay, then what is the functions of meristem? Meristem means what? It is an actively dividing cell. So it produces a number of cells. So it is responsible for primary and secondary growth of the plant. The further growth is carried out by meristem. Okay guys, what is the function? Meristem is actively dividing, so it is form the primary and secondary growth of the plant. The next one is classification of meristem. It is type of meristem, also called as type of meristem. How we classify it? Based on position. Based on position. What is meant by position? Where they locate. What is that? Where the meristem locate. On the basis, we classified into 3 types. Okay. So the types of meristem based on position is 3 types. Apical meristem, intercalary meristem, lateral meristem. What are all they? Apical. What is meant by apex? Already I told, I think so. Apex, tip. Apical meristem, intercalary meristem, lateral meristem. Okay guys, then just see the diagram guys. What is this? This is the tip. It may be shoot or root, anything else, but apical meristem present at the tip portion. The next one is intercalary meristem. Intercalary meristem present at the base of leaf, or what does that means? Node and internodal region. It present between the node and internodal region. So it is called as intercalary meristem. The lateral meristem is located parallel to the shoot system. Is it that? So it is called lateral meristem. Then one by one see. Let us one by one. Apical meristem, where they locate? It found at the apex of root and shoot. Okay guys. Then what is the function of apical meristem? It is present in the tip. The tip again divide and divide means it increase in length. Okay. The next one is intercalary meristem. Intercalary meristem, where they found? It found at base of the leaf. What is that? Base of the leaf or base of the internode. Did you see the sugar cane? In that we easily noticed node and internodal region. In this diagram also refer, I think sugar cane, just imagine sugar cane, that is one marked line and is this that empty portion. Again they have a, what is that? Marked line, is it? So marked line is called as a node. Unmarked line as a internode. So node, internode. Just imagine the sugar cane. Okay, ma'am. So intercalary meristem present where? Base of the leaf or base of the internode. I will be asked the question again, what is meant by internode? So clearly you should understand the node and internodal region. Okay. So for example, intercalary meristem, grasses. Okay guys. What is the last category? Lateral meristem. Lateral. What is the lateral? Side. The lateral meristem arranged parallel and cause the thickness of the plant. See this diagram. This is the lateral meristem, is it? The lateral meristem divide again means the thickness of the stem will be increased. So what is the function of the lateral meristem? The thickness will be increased. Okay. So again I will be asked 3 questions in the next session. What is the function of apical meristem? Increase the length. What is the function of intercalary meristem? Increase the node and internodal region length. What is the function of the lateral meristem? Increase the thickness. Okay guys. The second category of tissue is permanent tissue. Just remind what is the 2 type of tissue? Meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. We completed meristematic tissue. The second category of tissue is permanent tissue. Okay. What is the 2 type of tissue? Meristematic and permanent tissue. Now let us see the permanent tissue. The permanent, what does mean by permanent? What is that? Stable. What is that? Stable. The meristematic cell or meristematic tissue, after some time they converted into the permanent tissue. What is that? Meristematic tissue, after some time or after maturation, it converted into the permanent tissue. Okay. The permanent tissue is mainly classified into 2 types. The one is simple tissue. The another one is complex tissue. Simple tissue, complex tissue. So, what does mean by simple? The word itself indicates the tissues are very simple. Then what is mean by complex? The tissues are combined the other portions. So, it is called as complex tissue. Then, further it is classified into again. Let us see one by one. Simple tissue is again classified into 3 types. Parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma. The pronunciation is very important in the biology. Again I will be pronounced. What is that? Parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma. So these 3 comprises the simple tissues. Okay. Then what is the next category? Complex tissue. The complex tissue again divided into 2 types, xylem and phloem. What is that? Xylem and phloem. Do you know about the function of xylem? The xylem is conduct the water. From where? Root. From root to the remaining part of the plant. Okay. So what is the function of phloem? The phloem conduct the food materials. From where? Leaf. Because leaf is the site of photosynthesis. So, the tissue phloem conduct the food from the leaf to the remaining portion of the plant. Okay guys. So, it comes under the complex tissue. Why we called as a complex tissue means the xylem comprises the 4 type of tissues. The one is trachea is a one type. Vessels, xylem parenchyma, xylem fiber. These 4 elements combined, it is called as xylem. So, it is called as complex tissue. Complex. Like that, phloem also contain the 4 different type of elements. What does mean? Sieve elements, companion cells, phloem parenchyma, phloem fiber. These 4 combine to form a phloem tissue. So, it is called as complex tissue. Okay. Next, let us see one by one all that one. First, we will start from the simple tissue. What is that? Simple tissue. Simple tissue is a homogeneous tissue. Homo. What does mean by homo? Homo means same. What is that? Same. So, the structurally and functionally similar tissues. It look like structure also it does look like same. Function also same. So, it is called as homogeneous tissues. Okay. What is the classification of simple tissue? Parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma. Out of these three, only parenchyma and collenchyma comes under the living tissues. Sclerenchyma is a dead tissue. Okay. Hereafter, we will see what does mean by parenchyma and what does mean by collenchyma, what does mean by sclerenchyma with their diagram and examples.